Well, it started. Segment 3 of the Colorado Trail. Day 1 of my 9-day trek, 114 miles, and I'm only hiking a couple of miles today just to get to a camp in segment 3 so I can get started. But the monsoon season has started and it is in a flow for this week for sure. So it is going to be interesting. I think I'm going to be putting a lot of my gear to the test in the rain. It's thundering off in the distance, and we're going to see how this goes. I started my 114-mile journey on a Friday afternoon, right after work, giving my wife and I enough time to pick up the kids from school so I could wish them a good week, and so they could do the same. The Friday night start also gave me a head start on the trail, an extra night in the wild, and the opportunity to reset myself to enjoy my trek. After a long week at work and life's responsibilities, I felt those first 2 miles. The heaviness of the pack, tired legs, a mind full of the daily grind. Even still, I had a feeling of lightness, excitement, and an apprehension for the coming week. Well, the trail is over that way, and I came off a little bit because I saw this like a finger coming out along here, along this little ridge. And it's perfect. Let me show you down here. Beautiful view down in here. Evidence of previous campers, but just an absolute breathtaking view. Well, I am on the Colorado Trail. I'm at my camp for the first night. It's only a couple of miles in, but I wanted to get out here on a Friday night after work, so I've got all day Saturday throughout, up through Labor Day to get all the way to Leadville. I've got my pack all set up and ready to go for 9 days solo, not stopping anywhere to resupply with anything. So that means I've got 9 days worth of food and 9 days worth of fuel and enough everything else just to keep me going the whole way. It's been kind of rainy. The monsoon season is upon me, and this whole week is supposed to be rain all week. So hopefully I'll be able to get most of my mileage done in the morning and then be able to get my tent up before the monsoons come in. Only 10 miles tomorrow. Still on the same segment, and we're just gonna do this, man. This is awesome. Even though I started my journey the night before, it really felt like I was starting when I woke in the morning. It rained most of the night, washing away the grit for a fresh start, bringing a sense of renewal to my spirit. Breaking camp and eating my breakfast, I felt the anticipation of the rhythm of my footsteps on the trail, the crunch of the gravel underfoot. I'm doing all right this morning. It rained most of the night and some thunder and some lightning, but the tent held up really good and I stayed dry, so that's the important part. I did sleep pretty good, but not as good as I was hoping to. But I'm gonna go on the rest of segment 3 today, almost all of it. It's just to Forest Service Road 560, and which is Wellington Lake Road. So it's only like I don't even know, maybe like 10 miles or so to get to the next campground. So not too long of a day, but it's still going to be a pretty nice day on the trail. 10 miles is still 10 miles. These mornings are for solitude, to be at my own pace, just me and my footsteps to get ready for the day. It's the quiet I came to the trail for. But as the day wakes up, I'm reminded I'm part of something bigger, just by sharing the path. I meet people in moments. A mountain biker passes by, the ringing of their bell, the whir of the wheels. A quick chat with a man from Iran, another from Dallas, each on their own journey. Would I see them again further down the trail? It's a beautiful aspect of being on the trail solo. I'm at my own pace, my own plan.
But I'm also reminded on how many other people are out here doing the same thing. Maybe solo, maybe together, but we are all together here on the trail.
Well, I remember these rocks. I have a picture of these in the spring of 2024, and it was really misty and moody and snowy. Really recognizable with that one rock that just kind of goes off to the side and has like a little head on it.
As the miles and dust gather on my shoes, I remind myself to take breaks for water, food, and a bit of rest. I know my pack will get lighter as I get to the climbing trails, and I've planned for that. I'm not refueling along the way, and I need to consume food as planned. I want to keep hiking to experience the trail, but I know I won't get there if I don't have the energy to continue the day's miles.
Well, halfway through the day, I just stopped and had some lunch and refilled my waters, and I've got only like 4 more miles to go until I get to the place I was planning to camp. And everything's really not too bad. It's peaceful out here. I'm definitely tired. Hopefully I'll get some better sleep tonight. But ran into a few people on the trail that are hiking. One guy is going just to Bailey. Other guy is going to Copper. This is such a pretty part of the forest. Light filtering through the trees, splashing into the ground. Shadows, just beautiful. These squirrels are so funny. They are all carrying pine cones up into their nests. Anyway, just about to the end of the day. The clouds are starting to build up through the sky. So I'm gonna go a little bit further. It's about, I don't know, 1.5 miles left or so, just to get into segment 4 a little bit. So I'll be just to shave a couple more miles off. Why not? I feel good, and it's still early and the weather is still holding in there. Well, I'm on a bit of a climb. It was like 1,000 feet gain to where I wanted to camp, and I found the climb. We're going up, and I'm almost there. Well, the storms are blowing in, but I think they're gonna blow around us. They're out that way right now, and the wind is coming straight in my face. So going from here over to there, they're kind of blowing to my left over there and around behind me. And I hear thunder rumbling and all that kind of stuff, but it's all just around out there, and this is just a perfect spot, I think, to camp, to watch it all roll in. I'm right on the edge of the tree line. They're doing some kind of work here, but it opened it up for a pretty amazing view.
You can only plan so much. At some point, you just have to pick a time and take what comes with it. The mountains always have the final say, and I respect that. I planned to start early and finish by mid-afternoon before the storms could build. My plan worked well today, making my camp as the storms traveled across the distant sky. That's the thing about being solo in the wilderness. You have to be present. There are times you can't worry about tomorrow when you're watching the intensity of a storm build around you.
There's some pretty big pieces of hail that are coming down. Let me see. Oh, and one just came right in here. They're about that size. I don't know, what would you call that? All right, here we go. Oh, the bigger ones. In the tent. Oh, that's on me. All right, let's get it closed up. I traveled about 12 miles today, and they weren't really too terribly difficult. It was fairly flat, maybe like 1,000 feet in elevation total, up and down too, and ended up at this just beautiful place. And a storm rolled through a little bit ago, and I had hail that was like the size of nickel, like a nickel, the coin. Um, so that was a little intense, but it really wasn't too bad. The tent held up fine with that, and yeah, now it's peaceful and quiet. It was really cool. I don't know if you can see it, but there's out in the distance, there's a peak that's just illuminated just by the sun coming down through. That's really sweet. And I got a picture of that with a rainbow coming off the top of it. That was really sweet. I hope that one's gonna turn out. I need to drink more water. I had a little bit of a headache when I was done, and I didn't drink any water from between fill-ups, so I downed like 1.5 liters at the last fill-up, and now I've got 1.5 liters left, and I'll finish that before I fill up tomorrow. It's like 4 or 5 miles to the next stream to fill up. Oh yeah, so in my foot, for some reason I got a little bit of a heat spot and a blister starting on my left heel. So I'm going to put some moleskin on that tomorrow and see how that goes. And the sky's back to this after the storm.
When the storm passed, the calm that came brought a sense of peace, a stillness as the sun set to close the day, and yet start an adventure I would never forget.